Yeah, and a few reporters around here too, you know.
What was that like to be on the ice with those guys?
It was nice. I mean, it was great of the organization to have this night, invite all these guys back. I know they all appreciate it as much as I do. Dave Reese was phenomenal. I mean, he was cherishing the moment. He's just a good guy, you know, and you know, just a little tidbit afterwards, they said you can keep your jersey. He says, no, I want to give it to charity. So the two of us are going to sign that jersey and we're going to auction it off and give it away. So he's got a big heart, and so happy that he was here to share this evening, you know.
How surprised are you by that? I mean, when you look at it, a goalie, it's quite classy by him.
Very classy, you know. I mean, he gets it, you know. You know, he was so appreciative of the fact that he could play in the National Hockey League. He didn't play long, but he did get a shot at it. And he was telling me the story. I guess he's a counselor for kids, coaching a team, and things weren't going very good. Or the kids came out and they all had 27 jerseys on to rub it in. You know, he said, so everybody knows about the record, but he's just a gracious guy. He did name his dog Sittler. For those who don't know that, he says he's a dog lover, but. I don't know, I'm sure that dog was scolded a few times, but anyway.
Had you had much dealings with him in the past?
No, the only other time, it was either the 25th or 30th anniversary, I can't remember, but TSN brought him back. He and I did a live interview, but we really haven't kept in touch much after that. But like tonight was special. I told him not to fumble the puck when we're going out to drop it, so he didn't.
It's incredible that Grapes didn't pull him, but he was telling us earlier today there's no way Cheesy was getting into that game. He had to play the next night, and I think Cheesy had a bit of a late night the night before coming over from Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland folded, and Cheevers was coming back, and I'm sure the Boston fans wanted his debut to be back in Boston. He was a hero, won some cups here. And back then, they didn't pull the goalies like they do now. You know, if you were having a tough night, they made you tough it out and stick it, and you were accountable for it. And I'm glad they kept him in.
Surprised that Gretzky or Lemieux never broke that record, Daryl?
Well, those were the guys I keep saying. I always thought, you know, in watching both of them, and for both of them, I think they each had 8 points 3 times, which is phenomenal, you know. And to get 9 or 10, yeah. I mean, I don't know why it happened to me, but people say, was it ever going to be broken? Honestly, I hope not, but it could be. The unthinkable sometimes happens in sport, and it happened to me. So,
what's your best memory from that night if you had to pick one?
Well, it sticks out when Stan Abodiak came to me and said, you got 7 points. If you get one more, you tie Rocket Richard, because we didn't pay attention to that stuff much, and he came over. So then in the third period, when I scored the 8th point, it was the goal that I kind of flew behind the net and jumped up. I remember that one sticks out more than ever. And then the last goal, I mean, it was one of those, I just tried to pass the puck out, and you know, it had eyes, went in between Reese's legs, and I just kind of shook my head and said, geez, you know, couldn't believe it. But again, I didn't really understand the magnitude of the record then. And each year it went by, okay, and then you talk about the Gretzky era thinking, and here we are 40 years later, and 39,000 in some games played, and it's nice to hold it. Nice to do it in a Leaf uniform also.
You talk about paying your dues. I mean, you had to play the wing when you started with this organization. I guess there was an abundance of centers when you started out.
Yeah, I was a center all through junior hockey and had lots of success there, and the Leafs drafted me as a center, but yeah, we had Dave Keon, Norm Allman, and Jimmy Harrison, Mike Walton. And then I broke my wrist my first year, 3 months in, and it took me basically 2 years to be able to shoot the puck with the velocity I could before. But after some of those guys went off to the World Hockey and I got my wrist healed, my third year I got a chance to play with Rick Keogh and Dennis Duperi, and happened to lead the team in scoring, and after that had some confidence. And then they brought guys like Lanny and Boria in, and you know, I'm really grateful as a player to have line mates like Lanny and Earl, but you know, Boria and Ian, they were like the fifth or the fourth forward coming up on the play all the time. If you watch those replays, and as a centerman or a forward, you liked having that opportunity to have those guys come out offensively, put a point on the board. Huh?
Did you feel in the groove that night, or with those teammates, was it just an evening that snowballed?
It was an evening that snowballed. I think we've heard the story before. Harold, as only Harold could do, he commented a few days earlier in the paper, if only they could find a center to play with Lanny and Earl, and obviously that was a little shot towards me. But you know, I was always the type of player, you just show up with the idea you're going to play. The fact that it was against the original 6 team in Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada, CBC, Canadians were on the road, so it was telecast. And then to have a good game against the Bruins was special. I mean, as a player, when you're winning and everything's going your way, you really do enjoy those moments because they don't happen that often.
Daryl, do you have any interaction with Coach Babcock or any of the players today?
Well, I saw Coach Babcock before the game coming out, and I said, I'm sorry to steal your thunder. It's your 1000th game. I said, just win it for us, you know. but I congratulated him on obviously a great career. I remember when I played my 1,000th game as a player. It's meaningful. It means something, and hopefully, the players, a number of them shook our hands. The players when we were coming off the ice, and that's about a lot of most of all of them were born when I was there. Their grandmothers and their dads and moms might remember it, but. It's nice when these memories come back. The fans, the media appreciate it, and then you can share it. My 2 daughters are here tonight with my 2 grandsons in Leaf jerseys. Today's also a special day for me. 31 years ago today, my dad had a heart attack, and he passed away when I was playing with the Red Wings. So Tiger Williams and I, this morning we got up, we drove up to my hometown, visited him at the gravesite, and I skated up on the rink on the 28th floor here that Molson's have. So we played a little shinny this afternoon with some of our alumni, and here we are tonight celebrating the 40th anniversary. So February 4th, 2016 is a day I'll always remember.
What do you make of the direction Brendan is going where they got the Legends Row? Obviously, you're part of that already. They had Dave Keon come back. Now your night here today in terms of embracing the history.
Well, our organization has always tried to embrace the history. Brendan is carrying that on, obviously, with a lot of class and sincerity. We got the 100th anniversary, as we all know, coming up, the new logo. And we all appreciate that. And I think the fans appreciate it also. And what management's trying to instill in the players that play here, there was a great history and tradition here, and you're part of it, and you can be part of it in the future. If you win and do well, you'll be recognized and appreciated probably the rest of your life. So they're doing a good job with that. And Coach Babcock, he's the guy that makes players accountable. If you're playing well and you're working hard, then he's going to give you your opportunity. He's a fair guy, but he's a tough guy. And as a player, I like that in a coach, making guys accountable. There's no easy way, and he's done a good job with that. And the fact with Dave Keon, I mean, I was always bothered that, when I had my banner raised and obviously the statue, that Dave was reluctant to accept it, but I always knew a Legends Row wouldn't be complete without Dave Keon, because he's one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player in Leaf history. I had the fortune to play with him in the 70s. He was the captain back then, guy that worked hard, won Stanley Cups, won the Conn Smythe, Lady Byng, and I have a lot of respect for Dave Keon, and it's nice, and it's going to be a great night when they actually do the unveiling, so I'm happy for him. Turk Broda, in junior hockey, I was a 16-year-old kid. He came to my hometown. He was the coach of the London Knights. He told my mom and dad, he says, I'm going to take care of this young man, make him into a hockey player. And for Turk to be honored in Legends Row. And then Tim Horton, I got to play against him in my first few years in the National Hockey League. And I have a Tim Hortons coffee every day, so it's all good.
Whatever happened to the tea set?
The tea set, it's still there. Tea services aren't easy to keep up. You got to keep shining them, and I'm not one to do a lot of that, but I certainly appreciate it. I look at it from time to time. There's a big silver platter that's engraved with Harold Ballard's signature inscription on it. The actual the teapot and the other stuff, they're very old. They're very antique, and it's going to be an heirloom that my kids can shine and my grandkids can shine in a few years. So.